Office workers at Reddit. Why do you hate that one co-worker so much? What does she do? She is completely oblivious to everything else going on. She will stroll into someone's cube to talk about the most random thing and not realize that we're on the phone or have headphones on or working with a sense of urgency. My boss had an urgent task for me one day. Something that needed to be completed in the next 15 minutes. I jumped right on it and he was walking back and forth between my desk and his to give me the right information. I'm dialing the phone when she walks into my cube. Do you know about this order? And hands me a post-it with random numbers that looks like our order numbers. No, but I'll take a look at it. Just give me a few minutes. I'm trying to do something real quick for boss. I continue dialing the number and she just starts talking about something written on my whiteboard. Oh, so and so was also working on that. Did you know that? It's about some parts that. And my boss slides around her to hand me some papers and then leaves to go get something else. We are working quickly, but she is completely oblivious. The phone is now ringing and she is still asking me questions and my boss is waiting on the edge of my cube. I finally say, "Hey, I've got to make this call. Thanks." And she just continues her sentence as she turns and walks down the hall to her desk, still talking to herself. He ends every phone call with, and we'll go from there. She has the thermostat in her office. She opens her window because it gets too hot. The cool air makes the thermostat think it needs to produce more heat and roasts the rest of the office. I've talked to her about it multiple times and she does not understand the concept for some reason. Cindy is a perpetual victim and manipulates situations to make herself a victim. She chooses to be miserable and wants everyone else to be miserable as well. At work, Cindy complains about everything and everyone to the supervisors. However, every single thing she complains about is something she is also guilty of doing. If we try to point that out to her, we are being mean to her. It's maddening. She also loves to specifically target individuals. For example, Cindy complained about someone not following the dress code to get that person in trouble. A memo went out to everyone reminding us of the rules. Cindy then started complaining about things she could no longer wear. Somehow Cindy is the victim. When I moved to a different cubicle, Cindy asked me if it was because of her. It had nothing to do with her. I told her no, not good enough. Cindy then went to the supervisor and cried about how I moved to a new cube because of her. The supervisor had to talk to me about it. Cindy made herself a victim. Cindy's recent target is a co-worker who reconciled with boyfriend and is really happy. We're not allowed to be happy. When that co-worker went on vacation, Cindy went to the supervisors with false accusations of her not doing her job. We tipped off the co-worker when she came back about Cindy's shenanigans and told her to ignore Cindy. Not good enough. Cindy's not getting enough attention over it, so she's blocked the co-worker on Facebook and won't speak to her at work. However, Cindy is telling everyone the co-worker is mad at her. Cindy is the victim. Shut your pee hole. Cindy, you're a pathetic bully. You're not a victim. He sends emails to everyone in the department on the shared workstation using all caps and leaves the caps lock on. We have case sensitive passwords to log into the system. Edit. Okay guys. I get IT. I can remap the caps lock key. She doesn't want to improve anything. She will vehemently fight any new initiatives and everything that in any way requires her to do something differently. Obviously she fought a hard and completely idiotic fight against digitalization, trying to convince others that we should still print the sometimes 1,000-page cases we have. Worst part about this is the fact that digitalization is government mandated and completely mandatory for everyone. But older folks with no understanding will do that. What really gets me is when she refuses to learn something where it will already earn itself the first time she uses it. She will print out a whole case, min 300 pages, and do redacting by hand and then scan in everything. That can take hours, sometimes several work days, and a rainforest in paper. Now take Adobe's redacting program. You can do the same in maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour. Learning to do it takes 3-5 minutes if you teach it to someone with a learning disability. Worst part is, it is deemed unsafe for personal information as redacting by hand sometimes leaves information on the paper. She still refuses. Also she will give handwritten notes to our student helpers for them to send it out. It is not directions which the student can then use to write their own letter. She spends longer handwriting the stuff than it would take her to write on her computer and send herself. He plays his music aloud and doesn't use headphones. He'll only use headphones if he needs to tune out and get in the zone. He bikes 6 miles to work in the 100-degree Texas heat. Our office doesn't have a shower, so he comes in drenched in sweat as we're starting our stand-ups and demos, smelling of foul sweat and BO. He's been known to sweat directly on people since he air dries and it takes him a while to dry off. His BO is atrocious. He won't stop talking. I think he is genuinely afraid of silence. Like something happened in his childhood and now he can't stand more than 2 minutes without talking. I don't even reply anymore. I just sit there silent while he describes the objects closest to me. Oh, look, a notepad. That would be good if you needed to remember something, you could write it down. Sometimes you don't need to write anything down. You can just remember it. But then again, it's safer to write it down, that way you don't forget. Every ducking shift with this guy. Staplers, pens, person wearing a hat, 2009 9gag meme he found on Facebook, anything. He won't be quiet. Teddy used to be my favorite Bob's Burgers character, now he just hits too close to home. Team Andy and Ollie. He only talks at this volume and I share a very small office with him. She refuses to take a day off work sick. Her nose was pouring snot. She was coughing and sneezing every 10 minutes but refused to go home. It grinds my gears as she was spreading her Germany and being less productive for longer than necessary. He starts every sentence with I and is the most self-centered person I've ever met. Also, he won't turn off the stupid noise his phone makes when he is texting. That popping noise when you touch each keys. Working in close quarters makes people petty and I'm not immune, haha. I really need my hours. Goes home early every chance she gets. Arrives late. Calls into work. I don't know why I'm always doing task A. I want to do task B sometimes. Itches when she gets put on task B. Wants to do task A again. And generally when she's on the job she's making some kind of careless mistake that gets everything behind schedule or is spending more time gossiping and socializing than she is actually working. Any actual work she does is the bare minimum. He takes her tester bottle of cologne and sprays it all over. Neck. Wrist. He unbuttons his shirt and sprays it in there. Then he coats his sweater in it. He kisses the site lead's ass while he is here. Takes him coffee. Brings him lunch and stuff like that and then proceeds to talk mad it about him when he leaves for the day, telling everyone how he doesn't like him and he gets on his nerves and he doesn't know why he even talks to the guy. I work in HR. When we have people coming in for an interview, my colleague talks first to them, escorts them to my office. We have a lot of people coming in where I before the interview. But goddammit, Melissa, if I have an appointment on 3, don't send them to my office at 2:30. Tell them to wait. Give them coffee or a drink. But don't make me put up with all that while I don't even have the files in my office. You ruin my whole schedule. The ducking it to microwaves popcorn in the break area and burns it every single ducking time. Then proceeds to shake a bunch of grated Parmesan cheese on it, so then the office smells like burnt feet and diaper it. Yeah, I hate that cunt. He cooks fish in the break room microwave. She uses sound cancelling headphones and sings along to whatever she is listening to. Talks loudly to herself. And when she yawns she does it as loudly as she can. Nobody says anything to her because she has been with the company forever. Apparently the whole office would come to a grinding halt if Amy takes some days off. No, you're not that good. You're just full of yourself and everyone hates you. Corners me into irritating, time-wasting conversations, which are really just him talking, like many, if not most. When I started and first met him, I entered into the conversation thinking it would be a normal one. Instead it was a tedious, tortured monologue. However, he took this to mean that the new person was someone who would listen to him. So I was a favorite target for a long time. The last time he came to my office to talk to me, blocking the doorway, I eased my way past him as he was talking, spoke to him from outside my office and just said, I need to go. Everyone at work agrees that he means well and is pretty clearly on the autism spectrum. However, it is difficult to explain how stressful I find it to be caught in the conversational web of someone who obviously can't tell you aren't interested, don't have the time, and are becoming very uncomfortable. The second someone leaves the room she starts whispering about them negatively. Can't stand people like that. Did you hear what Obama did today? At least twice a week in a SoCal blonde girl's voice. The good news is I don't have to listen to that anymore, because she got fired laid off 2 weeks ago. He's an anal retentive, condescending control freak. He volunteers his dumb ass for literally everything and then itches and moans about having so much to do. And when he isn't doing that, he's trying to do my ducking job, too. And I'd let him if he wasn't such a patronizing, holier than thou duck about everything. By the way he talks to me and everyone else. My cute neighbor asked me if he was a manager. I laughed and said no. He has power over no one. She then said nobody should let him talk to them the way he does. He whines all the time that he can't get a girl, and to me it's obvious why. He's a narcissist and a prick and no one in the office likes to be around him. Constantly talks to me about sports. I don't watch sports, and I don't care about sports. Whether I say I don't watch sports or I ignore him, he still talks to me about sports. If he's not talking to me about sports, I can hear him a mile away talking to other people about sports. His voice in and of itself is sandpaper to my ears, all made worse by his inability to just stop talking about ducking sports. He's so incompetent. The boss ends up spreading his work to everyone else. That's how I went from head of product to head of product and marketing. I haven't gotten a raise yet, but my boss is supposed to find the budget for it in deck. I'm really tempted to tell him to find the budget by firing that guy. Where to begin? I had one that had to tell me about every YouTube video he has seen every single day. Then he would proceed to quote the videos every single day. He also mispronounced words all the time. He would ask if I had seen the most recent trailer for an upcoming movie. He also would try to get my attention by calling my name no matter how busy I was or how much I tried to ignore him. If I did not reply he would just say it louder and louder and louder. He also dragged his feet everywhere and complained about how hot it was every day, saying it's like a Turkish sauna in here chortle chortle. Other than that he was a nice guy. Although he is not my boss directly, he is kind of an elder statesman of the department and very well respected. For whatever reason, he feels the need to make me uncomfortable every time our paths cross. He often says things about what I'm wearing, such as, "What do you have on your feet?" "Just normal boots, by the way, and heaven help me when we have lunch at the same time in the lunchroom." It's non-stop personal questions and humiliating comments. Everyone laughs along with him, too, which is really annoying. I just wait until very late to have my lunch now, so I am just alone in the room. I have no idea why I am his target. I'm the most senior woman in the division, but still I am not very far up and would never be in line to get his job. On top of it all, he steals my utensils from the lunchroom. We all bring our own, because he likes them. Edit, just to add, this guy is 30-40 years older than me. She clips her fingernails at her desk at least once a week. It's been 4 years now. I no longer work in an office, but from past experience it stinks. There's a saying that goes, there are two types of job. One you shower before, and the other you shower after. I just wish some of the filthy duckers I shared an office with even showered at all. If you're in a room with 30 other people all day, throwing more aftershave onto your stink is going to make people very, very annoyed at you. Oh, and brush your ducking teeth once in a while. If you must eat dog turd, which I assume is what has been going on, because no living human's mouth should smell like that. It's not even early. You start at 9 and live 30 minutes away. You slovenly duck, and you smell like you've just got out of ducking bed and put on last week's old shirt, then rolled around in a pile of festering garbage. He's slurping his spaghetti right now as I type this. Even with headphones and music playing I can hear it. GRRRR. Our boss decided to take an extended vacation for unknown reasons. A new guy is hired to do a position similar to mine. With my boss being gone, management tells me to take the initiative to train him, to reduce my workload. I happily oblige and teach him what I know for the next few hours. Even decide to go to lunch with him. Halfway into lunch he proudly tells me that he plans to leave this job as soon as possible because it was meaningless and his talents could get him better pay. I excused myself and decided to have him do all the manual labor in the office henceforth. Good luck with a resume which reflects photocopying and filing as your main duties. Takes all calls on speakerphone, spending significant time yelling, "Can you hear me? Yeah. Yep. Everyone can hear you and wishes you'd use a headset or take a walk."